Hey guys, so we have a deck profile today for Agents and Krista as well. So, going through the cards in this deck, you'll be running, obviously, 3 Agents of Mystery Earth. It's basically your searcher of the deck, it's the heart of the deck, and the only weakness really with this card is that it only searches on a normal summon, which is very important. And if you have your field spell out, search for Master Hyperion as well. Put that aside. We'll be running 2 Venus. You don't need 3, since really her only job is to summon Mystic Shine Balls. And you'll be needing 3 of those in this deck. You summon these 3 for basic combos, Xyz combos for rank 2s, even Synchro plays if need be. They're very useful. And we'll go into detail with that in a moment. This is a little more utility, but running an Agent of Jupiter, it helps to control the graveyard by banishing a fairy from the graveyard, and it also to boost attack itself or any other monster you might have on the field. And controlling the amount of monsters fairy-wise in your graveyard is very important, especially for Krista. We'll be running 1 Uranus. Also very important, since it does also change its levels. It's a tuner, and if your Sanctuary in the Sky is out, your field spell summons itself for free, basically. And by changing the level, you can also control the monsters in your graveyard. You get to send a monster from your deck to the graveyard, and whatever level that is, this becomes that level, so it helps with your synchro plays. And then one of the boss monsters in this deck you'll be running, Master Hyperion. Very important for your finishing off your opponent, getting your cards, removing some of their cards on the field. Special summons itself by banishing an agent card from field, hand, and graveyard, and that helps control the graveyard once again. And if you happen to have your field spell out, you can use this effect twice to target cards on the field and destroy them. Very useful. We're running 2 Hecatrice. This card's good for searching mainly for Valhalla. That's really its only job. Shouldn't do much else. It may be under an emergency, you might use it for something else, but really this card's just meant to search for Valhalla to get your special summons off. And also discarding it, you can help your graveyard, and it helps thin the deck when you search. Running 2 Krista. Very simple enough. This is basically a vanities on wheels. Having 4 fairy type monsters in your graveyard, you can special out Krista, or if you happen to have Valhalla out, you can use Valhalla, special summon Krista, and lock your opponent out. Not many decks can really deal with Krista for the most part. They have a Raigeki in hand or something that might get rid of her, but it's a pretty strong lock, and it also helps bring back one of your monsters from the graveyard. You happen to have a fairy you want back in your hand after you summon it. And after it gets destroyed, it goes right on top of your deck anyway, so it could cycle itself for a while. You have Double Honest. He's pretty self-explanatory. We're in a light deck. 2 Zeradias, Herald of Heaven. Instead of terraforming, I run 2 of these guys instead. You don't have to worry about that spell card. His only weakness is if that field spell isn't out, when you try to summon him, he blows up. But that's not the point of this card anyways, so yep, use him for your search. Two Herald of Orange Light. Basically a hand trap to stop your opponent's monster effects. A little tough to use, since you do need to discard another light launcher alongside it, but it is a good surprise for your opponent and can help fill up your graveyard a bit. And Hyperion needs material in the graveyard to use, so why not have some more in there? And it's also a tuner monster, so. Double Maxx. This deck does not have much draw power, really. It's majority monsters, if you've noticed so far. Maxx is probably the only way you're going to get some cards in your hand. And maybe help stop your opponents from going ham on you. Some of the spell cards. First, the field spell, Sanctuary in the Sky. Only benefits you, doesn't do too much other than prevent damage involving your fairy monsters. Really only in conjunction with Earth and Hyperion. Not especially a good card, but you do sort of need it for some of your plays. And it does help Earth search Hyperion, so kinda need it. Double Valhalla. This card is great as an opening card to have. Just play it, special summon Krista, and then you can like watch your opponent from there. It's also great just to get that extra summon in, and it also goes into one of the combos into this deck, which I'll go through after I go through some of the cards, especially after the extra deck. Double Lance. It's very useful for protecting your monsters from spells and traps. This deck doesn't have much protection. Lance really is kind of nice just to be able to pull off during damage step as well. Self-explanatory. Double MST. Don't really need Twister since you don't really want to discard cards too much in this deck. But you know, a little MST to help remove that back row since you don't have too much protection. One Pot of Duality. Really useful when you have Krista out and you're not going to be special summoning anyways, so it kind of helps filter through your deck a bit. Soul Charge. Your graveyard's going to need some control. Sometimes Soul Charge can help. You do banish quite a few monsters on your own, but your graveyard for the most part should start filling up, and it does help to be able to summon out 2 Hyperions all of a sudden. Raigeki, self-explanatory. Book of Moon, very useful cards for disrupting. And now for the only 3 traps I run in this deck. Royal Decree. Really, you just want to stop them. That's all. Fiendish Chain, self-explanatory, stopping monsters. And Torrential Tribute, since it sometimes can catch people off guard. That's it for the deck itself, the main deck. So we'll go into the extra deck. Herald of Pure Light. It's a nice rank 2 for really just getting a monster back from your graveyard into your hand and then shuffling something you don't need back into your deck. In and of itself, it's not very useful, but when you need to control monsters in your graveyard, very much useful. Then main phase 2, you can just go into Downerd Magician. That way you don't have this 600, 1000 on the field. At least you'll have something a little stronger. Next we'll have Sky Cavalry Centaurea. Nice Beast Warrior. Sometimes if you have something on the field that's just way too strong to deal with, this thing can just pop right back. You'll take some damage, but that's kind of the price you pay. If he was a fairy, this would be amazing, but Beast Warrior, so just to work with it. Run a Cowboy, just in case you need to burn someone. And then my last 2 Xyz, Daigusto Phoenix and Cat Shark. Running these 2 together is a part of the combo. I'll go into it in more detail, but Daigusto Phoenix is pretty self-explanatory. Target itself, have it attack twice. Cat Shark, on the other hand, its effect is detach, target one of your monsters, and double its attack. And you can kind of see where that goes. And now for the Synchro monsters. Trishula. It's very easy to synchro rank 9 in this deck. Trishula is Trishula. This is runner. Haster, rank 4. It's a nice rank 4 beater synchro monster. Has some additional effects that you might be able to use. I was looking for a not rank 4, level 4 monster that had some good attack power and some good effects, and Haster happened to be one of them. Goyo Guardian, maybe you just need a steel monster. It's always been fairly good. Not so much in recent days, but you know, Goyo Guardian. Black Rose Dragon, need to clear the field. Very simple enough. Just in case you need some lockdown, Herald of Arclight. And the other one's a little more utility. I run Angel of Zera. This card gains a 100 attack for each of your opponent's banished cards. And then during the standby phase, the next turn this card got banished. Special summon this banished card, and you can only use this effect of Zera once a turn. Very interesting to use. This deck doesn't really banish Zera, but you can put it out there if you know your opponent has some banishing effects on the field. And the other three are a little more on just mainly beaters just to be there. They have some additional effects that you might want to use. Add Clear Wing just to help kind of lock the field a little bit. We have Star Eater, just a nice beater. And finally Chaofeng, just because we can. Alright. I guess we'll talk some of the combos in this deck. Mainly what you want in your hand, the ideal hand, is you'll want, there you go, Earth, and we'll want Venus, and finally either Valhalla or Hecatrice. So basically what you want to do is your first turn, assuming these 4 cards in your hand, you play Valhalla, you'll go ahead and special summon Venus. Go ahead and normal summon Earth and search for what you need. Most likely, if you have your field spell, you'll get Hyperion, but otherwise go ahead and grab any of your agents that you need. It helps thin out the deck. You obviously can't search Earth, but it helps. And then go ahead and activate Venus 3 times, summon your 3 shiny balls right to the field. Let's say that your field is now set up like this. So the idea now is you would just Xyz into Daigusto Phoenix, and then you use your second set of balls to Xyz into Cat Shark. And if you can see where this is going, you go ahead and just detach Cat Shark, targeting Phoenix, since its effect is target a rank, I believe it's rank 4 or lower, monster double its attack. You target Phoenix, activate Phoenix, targeting itself, so it can attack twice. Damage on the board right now is 8,100. 6,000 from Phoenix, 16 from Venus, and then 500 from Cat Shark for a nice OTK. And if for some reason, you know, you happen to have Hyperion in hand, you would banish one of your agent monsters in the graveyard, and you'd have Hyperion on the field too. And at this point, surviving this is fairly tough. This is one of the better combos in this deck. You can also, if you know, you can go from the balls with Earth into other synchro plays if you like. But that's the main combo in this deck. You'd go for an OTK. But yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. I mean, I know there's other combos you can go over, and go ahead and explore that if you want to try it out. And I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.